This week's post is titled, Why Men Today Still Need to Charge Dragons. The mythical figure of the dragon is found in countless stories and tales from ancient times. One of my favorites is the legend of St. George and the dragon from the 11th century. As the story goes, a dragon was terrorizing the countryside, and the only way to appease it was through human sacrifice, chosen by lot. Sadly, the lot at some point fell to the king's daughter. But while she was awaiting her doom, St. George rode up on horseback and decided to challenge the dragon in order to save the princess. When the dragon approached, he made the sign of the cross, charged forth, and seriously wounded it, later beheading it. But tales of the dragon like this one aren't just curiosities of ancient lore. The idea of a dragon still resonates with men. Dragons represent opposition and resistance, a mortal enemy that must be confronted if a man is to continue on his journey to be a man. Appeasement won't do it. Cowering in the corner won't do it. Wishing it would all go away won't do it. There comes a time when a man simply has to arise and challenge the opposition. Now, what could be that dragon today? There are lots of possibilities. It could be a long, simmering conflict with the boss. It could be the way you have felt treated by your family for years. It could be choosing a path that is unpopular with your friends. It could be making your voice known in a situation where you have long been silent. It could be doing something you have feared as long as you can remember. The dragons out there are endless, but the noble man's response to it is the same. He gets up and he charges. When a man chooses his path, something inside of him stands up. Something reckless is released as well. He is tasting a bit of his glory as a man, feeling solid and whole. The dragon, you see, is no longer a curse to be feared, but a passageway into manhood, even a gift in disguise. But there is more here for men of faith. Early depictions of dragons didn't have scales and wings like the ones with which we are familiar today. They were much more like serpents, perhaps much more like the great snake that darkens the early pages of the Bible, Satan himself. Here we find another princess that needs to be rescued, Eve herself. She's being manipulated and deceived by the great serpent. And what was Adam's response? It wasn't noble. He may have been cowering in the corner or wishing it would all go away. As the serpent approached, we don't really know that for sure. What we do know is that he says nothing. He does nothing. And he certainly doesn't charge. Instead, he capitulates, takes the fruit, and ensnares both Eve and himself into the dominion of the evil one. But Adam's story does not have to be our story as men. Through Jesus, we are called out now as those who are more than conquerors. The Apostle John puts it this way, addressing men who have charged the dragon. I have written to you, young men, because you are strong. God's word remains in you, and you have conquered the evil one. 1 John 2:14. Every man, including myself, has felt enslavement to the dominion of the evil one. It could be accusation over past sins. It could be deception about some addiction. It could be shame over some evil perpetrated on you. It could be the whisper in the darkness that pronounces despair over your soul. But you do not have to cower in the corner anymore. You do not have to be silent anymore. When you charge the dragon with Christ at your side, there is only one outcome. The dragon has to go down. you can become that man who is strong, who has God's word remaining in you, and who has conquered the evil one. You can become that noble man. Let John's words become your hope. Let Jesus make them a reality.